This is Marilyn Woodruff with Atnitz and Designs, and I'm here today to introduce to you the Fibonacci hat. This hat is made with worsted weight yarn, and you need a full skein of the main color, and you only need about a little less than a half skein of the contrasting color. If you use 2 full skeins, you definitely will have enough to make a second hat in inverted colors. It features a turned brim that you will knit with a purl turning round, and then you'll secure as you go. And very simple 1x1 color work. So if you've never done stranded color work before, this is a great pattern to learn. It will help you with tension because of the way that it's written, so you don't have to worry about being too tight. And then it has even decreases across the crown. It has an optional pom-pom. It looks great with or without it. In the Ravelry links and in the pattern, you'll actually see where I've done a red and white version of this that is not tonal. It's just solid red and white with no pom-pom. And it makes for a very elegant men's hat, especially if you're looking for something more unisex or something that's not so tonal. If you use colors that are dramatically different, you'll get a nice color work pattern. But if you use colors that are pretty similar, it will still look really cool. It will just be a little bit more subtle through this middle section. I hope you enjoy the Fibonacci hat. Okay, first thing before we actually turn this brim, you need to make sure to weave in your tails. Otherwise, you're not going to have a place to weave them in. And then we'll change to our larger size needles. And then it's very simple what we're actually going to do. So you'll turn your brim in. It will naturally turn along this purl ridge that we've created here. And normally I do this not on magic loop, but these were the needles that I had available at the time. And what we're going to do is find this first stitch from our cast on, and we're going to knit this stitch together with our next stitch. So when we go in to our next stitch, we are going to knit all the way around, so we're no longer doing any ribbing of any sort. And I'm going to knit into this first stitch and knit this first stitch of my cast on together with it. It's a little bit difficult to start, but then once you get it started, it goes pretty simple. And quite quickly, actually. So get our yarn here ready to knit. And I'm going to put my needle in here. And before I wrap my yarn, I'm going to go diving down here, and I'm going to find where is this first stitch. And it'll look a little bit weird because remember we started here with knit 2, so it's going to be this stitch as our first stitch. And I'm going to go into both legs of the cast on stitch. So that's where I ended. So there's my first leg. And you see I'm going into both legs of my cast on stitch. Let me get a little closer here. And I'm going to wrap my yarn to knit. And I'm going to knit through that stitch and through this stitch. So it's a little bit like a 3-needle bind off, except there's no third needle. So on my second stitch, I'm going to go into the next stitch right after the stitch I just went into. So there's where I went into. So I'm going to go into the next one. And into my first stitch. I'm going to do this all the way around the edge of the hat, and your brim will be secured on the inside of the hat, and you will have a very tidy brim edge around here that will be doubly thick, so whenever we start the color work part of the hat, it will match up and it will fit very nicely around the forehead. So good luck with the hat, and I hope you enjoy knitting this hat pattern. This was a really fun one for me to work on.